home in Omaha, Nebraska, about to go to Mesa, Arizona. So it's gonna be about a 19-hour drive. We are taking the Honda Ridgeline, pulling a 4x8 U-Haul. Also have it packed full of some Pelican cases with all of our stuff. So hopefully it goes okay. It'll be me, Sarah, we're waiting for her. We got Mako here and Blueski. I will reset the trip on the truck and we'll just see what we get for gas mileage and how it tows. It is a smaller U-Haul and we don't have too much in there, so I'll probably keep it in just regular drive most of the time. But if it is a little bit tough to pull, which I don't expect it to be, I will put it in sport mode. But I'll let you guys know on that. All right, here we go. You know, you're supposed to be in back, right? I don't think the center console's for your legs there, mister. Just pulling through town here in Omaha, just starting to leave. There are tiny hills here in Omaha, and the truck was even struggling just in drive with that, with the trailer. So I did go ahead and switch it into sport. So we're gonna roll with that for a while, and I'll update you guys if I change it. Blueski, buddy, maybe you should pop in back. I'll do the driving from here, okay? Nice. Yes, I know. All right. Oh, now you're sitting on Marlo. Ah. Oh, I thought Marlo was gone. All right, Blueski, you're riding shotgun, I guess. You got to ride in the dog bed, I think.
Get out. Ooh.
Blue, come on, buddy, in back. Come on. All right, so we're 15 minutes into our trip. Already stopped at our first gas station for a spoon. And got snacks.
Yeah.
Bunch of stuff. Somehow went over $100.
Mozzarella sticks.
Somehow spent over $100 just getting snacks. Yes, crazy. Too expensive.
Donut. Tylenol. Water. That'll.
Yeah, I think it's getting about there. Yeah. All right, so we are just about to leave for Arizona, and just the route that we're taking, just let you guys know here.
Marlo.
Marlo. So it's gonna be about 19 hours to get to Mesa, Arizona, and we're gonna be dipping down through Nebraska, which we're in Omaha right now, driving all the way through Kansas, getting a little bit of Oklahoma, and then going through, where is this? Oh, just the tip of Texas. We will be going through a little bit of Texas. Woo! And then going through New Mexico, right through Albuquerque, and then we will be Albuquerque, and then we'll be making it to Arizona and make it to Mesa, which is right by Phoenix. Well, let's get cooking, huh? The 100-mile mark into our trip, so we only have about 1,200 miles left to go. I've been keeping it between 75 and 80. The speed limit is 75 here, and I've been averaging 14.3 miles per gallon. And keep in mind, this is with a pretty full bed of the truck, as well as pulling a U-Haul. So pretty impressed so far. The truck's been handling it well. Not a crazy amount of power with the U-Haul, but definitely is getting the job done. We have mentioned a couple of times that we could use some more space here in the truck, but I think that's mostly due to the back seats being completely taken up by the dogs. We're really not able to put anything back there at all because they've got their dog beds, and one dog's a Great Dane and the other's a mix. but still he's about 90 pounds, so they take up a lot of room.
Lincoln Avenue toward McCool Junction.
But yeah, would definitely be nice to have more space, but I think it's
use the left lane
more
to
of
turn left
our
south
fault
Lincoln
for our
Avenue toward McCool
situation.
Junction.
We would consider getting a topper for the truck,
Turn left.
but I don't think that would really help us with our situation because our cases in the back of the truck would take up the entire topper space anyway.
138 miles.
So I don't think it would be very helpful for us. Right now everybody is sleeping but me. So hopefully at some point Sarah wakes up to do some driving or one of the dogs take the wheel. We'll see what happens. We've seen quite a few people on the side of the road so far into our journey just with tire trouble or just vehicle trouble in general. And that made me think of one of my previous videos. I was just talking about how the spare tire is inside the secret compartments, that's what we call it, in the box of the truck, as well as the jacks in there too. And a person commented that it's a horrible place for those two items because if you have something in the box of the truck, he specifically named like gravel or I don't know, something else, rocks, and said that it's an awful spot for it because you would have to completely empty the bed of the truck in order to get to the spare tire, which he definitely has a great point because it would pretty much be impossible to access your tire and jack if it's full of gravel or whatever else. And in my case right now, I've just got my box full of cases, just like the big Pelican cases. So if I was to get a flat tire, I would just have to remove one or two of those cases from the box of my truck, just set it on the ground to get into that compartment. So not a huge deal for me, but I definitely understand what he's saying. And I guess depending on what your use of the truck is, maybe that's a con, maybe it's a pro. For me, it works pretty well, and it's also nice not having the jack and tire all rusty or full of dirt or mud. But yeah, works for me anyways. Not that I've needed it. I've been on this travel assignment with my girlfriend Sarah and my two dogs here for about a year now, and we've been located in Omaha, Nebraska. So if anybody's familiar with Omaha, it's kind of boring compared to a fair amount of the rest of the country. So I can't even explain how refreshing it is on this drive just to actually see some character in the land. Like we're finally getting to see some water, some hills. We'll be able to see some mountains pretty soon, and it's been too long. I've been in Nebraska for far too long. So I'm excited to get out and see some different landscapes. There's much of the country that we haven't seen yet. We're pumped to see it. To a quarter of a tank of gas left, and we're just passing this gas station, so I figured we would stop. So our first fill up, we have gone 192.4 miles, and we're averaging 15.7 miles per gallon. So not too bad for pulling a trailer and having a box full of our cargo. Mickey, what do you think, buddy? He doesn't want to talk. All right, well, let's get this sucker filled up. So just talking about what we have in the box here, we've got a couple of Pelican cases, or a few actually. And I believe these are the 1690 cases. So super solid. definitely glad that we've got them here because we did go through a little bit of rain already on our way, even though we're only a couple of hours in. So definitely helpful to keep our stuff dry. We've also got the Pelican Air there, and I do have them all cabled together with some locks. Probably a little overkill, but it just makes them feel a little bit better as I'm going into gas stations, or if I had to go into Walmart or a store like that. Don't want anybody stealing our stuff. It would be pretty impressive if somebody would steal one of these big cases though, because with everything in them, they're super heavy, but you never know. All right, so we are topped off just with $40 and 13 gallons. And just talking about the U-Haul, this is the 4x8. So it is the smallest U-Haul available, which is all we needed because we just had a few extra things that we needed to haul with us that could not fit in the truck. So here we go. And we are going to reset the trip. I'm gonna keep one of the trips on without resetting it. So I'll keep A as a regular, and then B I will reset. And I'll just reset that each time we refill the tank. That was a close one. Whew. We are back on the road with 1,077 miles left to go, and we are supposed to arrive at 8:42 in the morning, and it's currently 5:16 in the PM. So we've got a few more hours left. Finally awake and decided to make an appearance.
Me.
Thank you for joining us.
In
Sarah.
10 miles, keep right onto E.
Okay, we are stopping for our second fill up here. We've gone on this last tank 229.9 miles. So for a total for the whole trip, we've gone 422.4. And the average on this last tank was 17.8 miles per gallon. So getting much better, and that brings up our average for the whole trip to 16.8. And I think this is due to we haven't been on the interstate at all lately. We've just been on the two-lane, two-way highways. So the speed limit's 65, and there's a lot of slow-going cars, so we're going like 60 to 65 the whole time. We're in Kansas right now, and we're just going from little town to little town. It seems like they're all about 10 to 15 miles apart, so there's a lot of turning and a lot of slowing down. So it's been an interesting drive, but hopefully it gets a little bit better. We'll fill up and get going. Got a new driver in the seat. Hopefully we don't crash. I'm gonna take a nap. Good night. So we've got fill up number 3 here, and Sarah must have been driving a little bit nicer than me. She went 242.2 miles and got 18 miles per gallon. Pretty impressive. And that boosts up our average up to 17.2, and we've gone a total of 664.6 miles. I'm still sleeping so far on our trip, so we're about halfway there. So we're gonna keep trucking and take these boys out to go to the bathroom quick. up for a fourth time. Sarah just has to go to the bathroom, so we're stopping anyway. So it is gonna be an earlier fill up. She went 140 miles, got, oh terrible, 14.6 miles per gallon on that tank. So that brings the average down to 16.7. We've gone 805.1 miles, so we're getting there. What do you think, Mickey buddy? Mickey and Blue have had enough. We're almost there, buddy. Filling up with gas for one last time, hopefully one last time. We've got 222 more miles to go until we reach our destination. So this last tank, we went 245.3 miles and got 17.9 miles per gallon. So that brings our average to 17 miles per gallon, and we've gotten a total of 1,050.5 miles so far on the trip. So another 200 miles and we'll finally be there. And we did take the scenic route. We are going through New Mexico right now, and we can see like the silhouettes of mountains, but it's been dark pretty much the whole time, so it's been a little bit boring. Yeah, too bad it's not daylight so we could see a little bit more, but what do you do? All right, let's get some gas. Right, Nikki? We're stopping for a much needed pee break for the boys. And for Sarah. Look at all this garbage though. It's terrible. Just on the side of the road in Arizona. It's beautiful out here though. Absolutely. The trailer's been holding up. The truck's been doing awesome. Nobody's stolen any of our containers. It's always good. I'll just like edit this part out, all the garbage. There we go. I'll just raise up the camera. You're still peeing, Buster? That's a good pup. Oh, Mickey's. We found these lovely packages on the side of the road in Arizona, and the actual products sitting there as well. Whoa, this is a huge one too.
I thought that I saw one over there, but I thought it was like...
So we just stopped on the side of the road just to let the dogs pee and drink some water and all that, let them stretch the legs. And on the side of the road there was packages and the actual
a dick extender.
A dick extender. I was gonna say there was like 10 like dildo packages, and then there's like 3 or 4 dildos just laying out in the grass. So that was
and it said it can extend it up to 3 feet.
It was 3 inches, not 3 feet.
Oh yeah.
that'd be a little much.
Get in the back, buddy.
Hopping back, buddy.
You can't stay
But anyway, I was wondering if every single one of those little rest stops is full of that kind of stuff, because
at the
well,
next
there's like a little like
turn
pull
right.
over in the road, you know.
Yeah.
Because we passed like 50 of them. That'd be there's like 10 dildos at each one. 50 times 10, that's a lot of dildos.
Oh.
We are officially here to the house in Mesa, Arizona. So on our last tank of gas, we drove 221.5 miles and we got an average of 20.1 miles per gallon. A lot of the time we were going downhill, so that definitely helped, which also the paddle shifters on the steering wheel, that was really helpful for going down in gears and also up in gears when you're going up the mountains as well. And anyway, the total amount of miles that we went were 1,272.1, and we did that in 19 hours and 58 minutes, and we ended with an average of 17.4 miles per gallon, which is pretty decent for pulling a U-Haul the entire way, I would say. But anyway, yeah, the truck did super well. Definitely could have used some more space in the cab, but I think that's mostly because we've got these boys back here taking up a lot of space. And as far as gas mileage, I think it did pretty well, and it did have enough power even going up all the hills. You just have to either have it in sport mode, or if the hills are quite a bit bigger, I just use the paddle shifters and gear down. I just cleaned the truck before we left, but this is what 1,200 miles will do to it. Blue Bear, how do you always end up in shotgun? Huh? You're supposed to be riding in back. As far as our cargo, we've got the Pelican cases. Quit laughing at me. We've got the Pelican cases secured with some rhino straps and just this netting here. I was just going to show you guys what we do have in the U-Haul, just so you can kind of guess the approximate weight of what we were pulling the whole time. So I know that makes a huge difference with gas mileage, but it's really nothing crazy. You know, we've got golf clubs, a lot of Sarah's clothes. It's basically why we had to take the U-Haul, to be honest. She's got like 4,000 pairs of shoes and all the articles of clothing to match them. So yeah, we had to bring a U-Haul 19 hours, 20 hours, I guess. But gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, that's what's in the U-Haul. And then these cases, nothing crazy. There's like a PlayStation in them, our hiking stuff, and then I've got my clothes in that little box there. Nothing too crazy heavy. But yeah, otherwise the Ridgeline definitely performed well. I was impressed. We did take the Ridgeline from Fort Myers, Florida to Omaha, Nebraska about a year ago, and that was with a this one's 4x8, this trailer is. The one that we had before was a 6x12, and that was full of all of our stuff, like treadmills, weights, and it was crazy heavy. And the truck did really well with that last year, so I wasn't surprised at all that it did well with the smaller trailer and a lighter load. Thank you guys very much for watching. We really do appreciate it. And as travel nurses, we do move pretty often, normally around every 3 months or 13 weeks. So I think next time when we move, it'll probably be either another place in Arizona or California. So definitely stay tuned if you guys like this video, and check out our other videos and